Hey everybody, today's video is a little different and this intro will probably contain a little lengthy explanation of what I did and what my definition of the few things is. So if you don't want to see this part and just want to see the painting, then go ahead and watch it. But if you want to see like what in the world did she do, what's her definition of a new type of painting, because everything in art has been done before, almost everything. So first, the explanation of what a new type of painting is. So, in my mind, there are kind of two types. There's when you make a new medium. So, if I mixed, I don't know, charcoal, eggs, and salt together, and that somehow made an amazing paint that I could paint with, that would be a new type of painting. Don't try that because that sounds awful, but that would be a new type of painting. There's also another type where you take a regular kind of paint or stuff that other people have done before and you do it in a different way. And that sometimes can mean going a step further than what other people have done, or what I did today, what I've done, and what I will probably be doing a lot more in the future, is taking a step off. So here's what I did. If you do not know what a Dutch pour is, I think I did one a while back. Yeah. So it's basically where you put a base coat of acrylic pour paint. I usually use white, but you can use tons of different colors. And then you put lines on them. Lines meaning you take a squeeze bottle and then you squeeze it out, or you can do little circles or just tons of stuff. And then you take a hairdryer and the hairdryer blows out the paint in this amazing wave. So what I was doing, I watch a lot of YouTube because I love art. That's how I started out. So I was watching these Dutch pour YouTube videos because entire channels are just dedicated to Dutch pours. I could name plenty. If you're trying to look for some, comment down below. I can give you links to their channels. There are just so many. So I was looking at these channels and I was finding that just the lines themselves on the base coat, in my opinion, looked better than when they used the hairdryer to blow them out. It looked simple and it looked very modern in a not abstract, busy way. So acrylic pouring, as we've done it, is often chaotic, a good chaotic. I love acrylic pouring. The paint just makes so many colors and it's beautiful, but it's a lot going on usually, and Dutch pour is the same. It's a lot, but the lines of colors themselves look so pretty. I remember sitting and watching these videos and going, stop, don't mess with it, please. I beg of you, it looks gorgeous the way it is. Don't do it. And of course they couldn't hear me because, yeah, you can't hear it when someone yells at their screen. So I thought, okay, has anyone done this? Has anyone just simply used a base coat of paint, put lines on it, and then left it? Now I'm sure several people have done this before, just maybe one painting or two, and then they didn't really call a different type, and then they moved on. And in my definition, they did do that type of painting, but they didn't think about it. There wasn't an intentional trying to do something a certain way. So today, I did something a certain way, and I named the type of painting, and I hope you enjoy. I call this type of acrylic pouring simplicity painting. It's where you take a base coat of paint, put lines over it, and then you leave it. You do not tilt the canvas. You do not mess with it in any way, except one exception. Oh my goodness, exception. You can draw in it using a toothpick or a straw, but only that. You cannot smash balloons in it. You cannot use a hairdryer. You leave it simple. Now this type of acrylic pouring can sometimes be chaotic, and this is how my first simplicity pour went. It was a lot of colors, but the method in which I used to make it was simple, and that is a simplicity pour. And I hope you enjoy this video as I make my first and probably not last simplicity pour. If you have any questions about how I did it, comment down below, but it's pretty simple how I did it. So yeah, enjoy. I'll see you after. The first step in painting is to create a colored background. You can use white or black. Those are my two preferences, but you can also use different colors. There's just a lot of different ways you can do this. Make sure to take your time to make it flat and even. It does take a little bit to do this, but it is definitely worth it. You don't want puddles, or just make it completely flat. If you have to push some over the edge, then do that. Just make it flat. If you have ever done a Dutch pour, this is basically the first two steps of doing a Dutch pour, making the background and then putting on lines. The next step is the lines, of course. I like to use a squeeze bottle, but you could also use a cup. There are just a ton of different ways you can do this, and it just depends on how you want to. It's a very simple way to paint, which means you can experiment a lot about how you do it. You can hold the squeeze bottle different ways. You can do it faster, slower. It just depends on what you want. I really liked how this came out. It came out very colorful, very random, but also it looked almost intentional, which, let me assure you, it was not. I just decided, hey, I want lines here, I want swirls here, and I experimented. I beg you, please experiment. It is so fun. You get so many types of effects with the paint, and just how all the paints interact with each other is amazing. With this type of painting, at least how I created it and how I define what I now call simplicity painting, you do not shift the paint. You do not take it up and move the canvas around to shift the paint. You let the paint do what it wants to do. So if there are bubbles, then there are bubbles and they pop and they make cells. If there aren't, then you also let there not be cells. After I let it dry for 3 weeks, I then varnished it, and it almost became a whole new painting. It became so shiny, and if you hung this up in a room, it would almost glow with how colorful and how random, chaotic, but also simple it is. If you're curious about what this painting was named, I named it The Simplicity of Chaos. If you don't know why, then go look at the painting again. If you want to watch another video, click this. If you want to watch another video, click this. And remember to leave a like and subscribe. See y'all next week.